You're listening to the short-form guide to Think Faster, Talk Smarter by Matt Abrahams. In Think Faster, Talk Smarter, Matt Abrahams aims to improve your ability to communicate under pressure. He focuses on helping you speak more confidently and effectively in spontaneous situations, such as in meetings and social gatherings. His strategies can help you manage your emotions, organize your thoughts quickly, and be articulate. Abrahams argues that by mastering these skills, you can convey your ideas compellingly and improve your connections with others. Matt Abrahams is a lecturer at Stanford University's Graduate School of Business, where he teaches strategic communication. He wrote, "Think Faster, Talk Smarter for anyone who wants to feel more confident speaking spontaneously, whether you're a business professional looking to excel in meetings or someone simply wanting better daily interactions." The book's insights draw from Abrahams' years of teaching experience and his research into effective communication practices. In this guide, we'll explain 4 of Abrahams' strategies: manage your anxiety, improve your mindset, correct problematic thought patterns, and organize your thoughts effectively. We'll compare his ideas to those of other books like The Upside of Stress and How to Talk to Anyone. We'll also supplement Abrahams' advice with tips to help you manage your stress and speak more effectively. New section. Strategy 1. Manage your anxiety. When you face a spontaneous situation that demands you perform, anxiety can cause you to spiral into panic and lose your train of thought. In these moments, it's important to manage the emotions that threaten to derail you. In this section, we'll discuss 3 categories of anxiety symptoms: physical, emotional, and mental, and share Abrahams' tips for overcoming this anxiety. Physical symptoms of anxiety. According to Abrahams, anxiety can cause your breathing to quicken and increase your body temperature, making you feel increasingly panicked. Overcome anxious behaviors. To alleviate these physical symptoms of anxiety, try 2 strategies Abrahams recommends. Slow your breathing. Focus on making your exhalations twice as long as your inhalations. Abrahams explains that when you take long exhales, you reduce the carbon dioxide in your body, which has been shown to calm your nervous system. Cool your body by holding something cold in your hands. Your hands help regulate your body temperature, so this will prevent excessive sweating and redness. What happens when you fear your fear response? When you view the physical symptoms of your threat response, such as fast-paced breathing, as a threat, you can enter a spiral of panic, otherwise known as a panic attack. This response is even more likely when the symptoms of your threat response come on unexpectedly and without an obvious cause. When this happens, the physical effects of your threat response may cause you to think something bad is happening to your body and lead you to worry for your safety. Although panic attacks aren't dangerous, they're uncomfortable and can prevent you from performing aspects of your daily routine or attending important events that you think might cause a panic attack. When panic attacks become recurring, it's called panic disorder. One treatment for panic disorder is cognitive behavioral therapy, which can help you adjust your threat response appropriately for non-threatening triggers. Slowing your breath can alleviate symptoms of anxiety, but it's important not to overdo it. In The Oxygen Advantage, Patrick McKeown explains that excessive exhalation can reduce the carbon dioxide in your body too much. Your body needs carbon dioxide to transfer oxygen from your blood to your muscles and organs. Without sufficient carbon dioxide and therefore sufficient oxygen, your muscles will become exhausted. McKeown recommends breathing through your nose to avoid heavy breathing and better regulate the amount of carbon dioxide you exhale. Cooling your body with cold water or ice is another intervention that relieves the physical symptoms of anxiety. Aside from helping regulate your body temperature, as Abrahams mentions, coldness can also distract you from the anxiety you're experiencing, helping you calm down. Emotional symptoms of anxiety. Facing anxiety without a strategy for handling it can exacerbate your fears and create a spiral of increasingly debilitating anxiety. When this happens, you can lose your confidence and your train of thought. Abrahams explains that while you can't eradicate your anxiety, you can manage it. Overcome anxious emotions. To prevent your anxiety from sending you into a negative spiral of fear, try these 2 tips Abrahams offers. 1. Practice mindfulness. Recognize that anxiety is something you're experiencing, not something you are. By observing your anxiety with intentionality and objectivity, you'll separate yourself from your symptoms, which can help you stay calm. Short-form note: research shows that mindfulness can also increase your brain's gray matter, which is associated with improved memory, learning, and empathy. 2. Reframe anxiety as excitement. By doing so, you'll give yourself a sense of control over the situation, which can help ease the overwhelming feeling of anxiety. When you're anxious, try repeating a mantra to yourself such as, "This is exciting." Change your mindset on stress. In The Upside of Stress, Kelly McGonigal explains that the most important determinant of your response to stress is your mindset about your ability to handle a situation. A mindset is a set of beliefs that influences your perception of reality. If you don't believe you have the resources necessary to handle a situation, you'll induce a threat response. McGonigal provides 2 strategies that help you cultivate confidence in your ability to handle stress well. Like Abraham's, McGonigal encourages reframing stress to help you cope with and overcome difficult situations. She references a study showing that reframing your stress response as something helpful and empowering enables you to perform better than if you have no stress response. McGonigal explains that a positive mindset shift triggers a beneficial type of stress response called a challenge response. This response activates when you feel called to perform, but you don't perceive that your life is at risk. So, instead of feeling afraid, you feel confident. To adapt Abraham's mantra strategy during such situations, you could repeat a mantra that reframes stress to invoke a challenge response. For example, when you're stressed, say to yourself, "This is empowering." Mental symptoms of anxiety. Abraham says that anxiety can steer your thoughts in a negative direction, escalating your anxiety. For example, imagine you become nervous when asked about yourself at a dinner with your partner's family. As you struggle to gather your thoughts, you might become self-conscious about how long you're taking, and you may begin to tell yourself that everyone at the table thinks you're awkward or weird. Overcome anxious thoughts. To keep anxious thoughts at bay in your day-to-day life, consider following these 2 tips from Abraham's. 1. Repeat a positive, self-affirming mantra. This can combat the negative self-talk that takes over in moments of doubt. For example, you might repeat to yourself the reason behind whatever you're doing. Short-form note: Kelly McGonigal suggests keeping your highest values present in your thoughts to drown out your fearful thoughts and help put your stress into perspective. To do this, consider her suggestion to place a reminder of your values on a bracelet or keychain, or try writing about those values. For example, if your highest value is your family, consider making a bracelet that lists your family members' names or putting a picture of them on your phone's lock screen. 2. Normalize anxiety. Realizing how normal anxiety is can prevent it from overwhelming you. Remind yourself that most people would also feel anxious in the situation you're in. Short-form note: another way to help normalize stress is to increase your awareness of other people's struggles. McGonigal suggests practicing this by regularly recognizing that the people you're interacting with have their own private fears and concerns. Next, realize there are many people in the world who feel just like you do. Embrace this invisible community. New section. Strategy 2. View social situations as opportunities. When you adjust your mindset to view spontaneous interactions with openness rather than fear, you'll create more opportunities for positive, productive experiences. In this section, we'll discuss the importance of maintaining a positive mindset when you're in unexpected conversations. We'll also cover Abraham's tips on cultivating this mindset. Why your mindset matters. The author argues that we commonly view spontaneous interactions as threats. We develop this mindset because social situations can be stressful and scary. However, a defensive mindset leads us to become more closed off and less effective in our communication instead of enthusiastic and creative. Abraham's highlights how this defensive mindset also manifests physically through body language like slouching or crossing arms, and vocally, such as through rushed or tense speech. Short-form note: one expert explains that your negative body language can influence your emotional state. This could create a feedback loop in which your anxiety leads to anxious body language, which reinforces more anxious feelings, and so on. However, this also means you can use positive body language to promote calmness and confidence. For example, simple acts like smiling and straightening your posture help reduce stress and improve your mood. To counteract the tendency to view spontaneous interactions as threats, Abraham's advocates for a shift in perspective, viewing impromptu speaking as an opportunity rather than a threat. By doing so, you can relax your defenses and allow your genuine personality to emerge. As you become more open and confident in your delivery, others around you will likely respond positively too, a virtuous cycle that enhances connection and engagement. The Stoic perspective on embracing threatening social situations. Abraham's advice to view spontaneous social situations as opportunities echoes a principle of Stoicism that Ryan Holiday mentions in The Obstacle is the Way****. Holiday explains that according to Stoic philosophers, no event is inherently good or bad. Your perspective determines whether it's good or bad. By choosing to embrace the positive side of any problem, you transform it from a threatening situation to an opportunity to come away with something valuable. In this case, you could choose to see public speaking as a chance to meaningfully connect with others or improve as a communicator. Embracing an intimidating social situation relates to Stoic principles in another way. It's virtuous. In Holiday's eyes, we have a moral obligation to live as virtuously as possible. A virtuous person, by Holiday's definition, is someone who honestly works to improve their life and the lives of others as much as they can. With this in mind, he argues that pursuing virtue is the most fulfilling thing you can do with your life. From this perspective, when you persevere through social situations you're afraid of, you're acting courageously and building character. You're also improving the lives of others when your courage and openness leads to deeper connections and more meaningful relationships. How to develop a positive mindset. Consider using these 2 tips from Abraham's to improve your mindset on spontaneous interactions. 1. Focus on growth. One critical mindset shift involves transitioning from a fixed mindset, viewing your abilities as static, to a growth mindset where you believe your skills develop through effortful practice, a concept popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck. Embracing this outlook encourages resilience against failure or incompetence, since mistakes become learning experiences rather than definitive judgments about your capabilities. For instance, if you feel anxious before public speaking, you might remind yourself, "I haven't mastered this yet," instead of dwelling on your anxiety and shortcomings. Short-form note: is a growth mindset more difficult to adopt as we age? Contrary to the idiom, "you can't teach an old dog new tricks," psychologists say that changing your mindset is possible at any point in life. This is because your brain is neuroplastic, meaning it can continue to learn and change throughout your lifetime, so don't feel like it's too late to change your mindset on public communication. 2. Focus on your audience. Abrahams explains that by focusing on how you can best serve the people you're interacting with, you'll not only communicate more effectively, you'll also take the self-imposed negative pressure off of yourself. Get to know your audience's values and consider their feelings as you converse. This information will help you shape your message so they better understand it. Short-form note: in The Upside of Stress, McGonigal explains that focusing on serving others can activate a beneficial stress response called the tend and befriend response. This response releases oxytocin, which helps you feel more courageous and connected with people. Therefore, taking time to care for your audience's needs could help you overcome your fear and relate to them in a meaningful way. This stress response also activates serotonin, which increases your mental sharpness and awareness. This can help you notice important details and be more considerate of others during social interactions. New section. Strategy 3. Break free from thought patterns. Another limitation that Abraham says we encounter during spontaneous interactions is our own habitual responses. When we're confronted with new, uncomfortable situations, it's easy to default to the same old script. In this section, we'll explain how taking comfortable mental shortcuts and pursuing perfectionism prevents us from tapping into our creativity, connecting deeply with people, and authentically expressing ourselves. We'll also share Abraham's tips to become more open and adaptive in spontaneous situations. Heuristics hamper your social potential. Abrahams explains that our brains often rely on mental shortcuts, or heuristics, to handle complex tasks efficiently. These shortcuts help us respond quickly under pressure and avoid overthinking every decision of our day. For instance, if you stop to consider every detail as you decide what to wear for work, you might never leave your house. A heuristic helps you make a quick, instinctual decision about your dress so you can get to work on time. If you typically wear a sweater and slacks to work, you'll probably default to this because it's familiar and efficient. Short-form note: heuristics helped our ancestors survive by aiding quick decisions in high-risk, chaotic moments of life or death. If a saber-toothed cat ran into your camp, heuristics would help you quickly default to whatever you know best for survival, grabbing your spear or retreating to a safe place. Although heuristics are useful, they can also cause problems in social situations by limiting your spontaneity and creativity. For example, imagine you're at a dinner party where you use a heuristic to only engage in conversations about work, thinking it's the safest topic. This approach stifles spontaneity and creativity, as it prevents you from discussing more personal or imaginative subjects that could lead to deeper connections. Short-form note: some experts argue that certain heuristics can drive creativity. For instance, Ernest Hemingway, a prolific writer, abided by the heuristic, "never empty the well in writing." That is, don't deplete your creative energy. Depending on the heuristic and the context it's used in, creativity can be stifled or encouraged. At the end of this section, we'll discuss tips to counter limiting heuristics and cultivate beneficial habits. Defaulting to cookie-cutter responses can also prevent us from picking up on the needs of the people we interact with, resulting in lost opportunities for deep connections. For example, when someone loses weight, it's typical to say, "You look great." However, this heuristic can reinforce the harmful idea that thinner equals better, and it assumes that the person intentionally lost weight, rather than losing it due to a health issue, an eating disorder, depression, and so on. As a result, you miss out on an opportunity to connect with your friend in a more meaningful way. Short form note: avoid giving automatic responses by actively listening instead. This involves giving your full attention to whomever you're interacting with. To stay deeply engaged as you listen, paraphrase what they've said to you to ensure you're understanding their ideas and ask questions about anything unclear. How to overcome heuristics. Your heuristics aren't hardwired forever. Replace them with Abrahams's recommended habits. 1. Become mindful of the situations where you typically use heuristics. We often use heuristics during stressful situations because they're an easy, comfortable way to navigate this stress. 2. Challenge yourself to handle situations differently than you usually do. For example, if you typically lead team meetings with a presentation, try giving the floor to your colleagues to let them raise the issues most pressing to them. Identify the heuristics in your life. Familiarizing yourself with heuristics may help you recognize them when they come up. Here are a few types of heuristics to be aware of. Availability heuristic: judging the probability of something happening based on the limited examples that immediately come to mind. Anchoring bias: when we're making a judgment and we're primarily influenced by the first source of information we encounter. Confirmation bias: our tendency to seek out and recognize information that confirms existing beliefs. To help yourself break free from heuristics, consider acknowledging and analyzing moments you use a heuristic. This can help you become more aware of what circumstances cause it. When you know what triggers your heuristic, you can anticipate these factors and prepare an alternative habit more easily. When you catch yourself using a heuristic, record the main details about the circumstances leading up to the heuristic. For example, what you were doing, who you were with, and how you felt at the time.